I cannot stand Mr. Baseball.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
I knew it.
Here we go.
Yeah, I tried to throw a little bit back at it.
Love that logo, love that jersey, love that color scheme, everything about it. Welcome to episode 72 of the None Other Sports Podcast, the home of sports talk for the average Joe. My name is Jason.
I'm David.
And tonight we are joined by Dave from the 2216 podcast. Dave, thanks for joining us, brother.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Any of you who've been listening to the last few episodes, we've talked about Dave a few times. Mainly because we've brought up how much Dave's been entertained still by David driving over the rope divider on the golf course.
Probably one of the best highlights of my golf career.
Hey, what can I say? That's not the worst I've done, but still.
It was pretty funny.
That could have been worse.
Why don't you, before we get going here, Dave, why don't you tell the listeners about your podcast?
Sure. Myself and two other gentlemen, Greg Taylor and Jake Reilly, are part of the 2216 podcast. It's a rural firefighting podcast. We have all been in the fire service for 20 plus years, and we just talk about challenges we face in rural communities. Everything from mental health to firefighting tactics to decreasing volunteer numbers. It's stuff we face across the country, not just in rural Pennsylvania or rural New York, but just across the country.
And it's a really good show. I've enjoyed the episodes I've listened to.
I can only imagine what you have to go through just when you go out to a call. I mean, not knowing what to expect with everything.
Yeah, it's kind of a neat perspective from our end. We're all chief officers in different departments. Obviously, I'm in Pennsylvania, and those two are in southern New York area. And we've known each other for a very long time, and we have a very good bond. But it is unique situations that we encounter. That is for sure.
Can only imagine. Definitely can only imagine.
Bed knobs and broomsticks, if you will.
Yeah.
All right. Our first half topic is the MLB Trade Deadline is here. The biggest news is that the Angels took Shohei Ohtani off the market. It was long rumored that they were going to be unloading him, but now that they're 4 games out, they are not unloading him. And they actually made some moves. So, what do you guys think of the Angels taking Ohtani off the market?
Hope it doesn't backfire on them.
I think it's gonna. I mean, I think that's a move that I did not expect to see coming, for sure.
I mean, the fact is that once, to me, to take a big name off the block, you have to be guaranteed in the playoffs. Like, you have to be like number one in that division by a good amount before you take a name off the block. 4 games out.
They are 6.5 back in their division, for the record.
Oh, 6?
So they're probably 4 games out of the wild card.
Yeah. My screen just loaded on it. But I don't know. It's those 6 games could take a while just to close out. Just to get to where you're in. Those 4
looking at the wild card,
who knows how long?
Ahead of them are the Yankees and the Red Sox. The Red Sox are 2 games back. The Yankees are 3 back. And that's just to get to that 3rd spot in the wild card race. And that's not a guarantee.
No.
And I believe the Angels have a pretty tough schedule for August. I mean, by all accounts, I believe Ohtani's not happy playing for the Angels. So
let's see here.
And I mean,
August.
They've wasted the best years of Mike Trout's career. So,
well, let's see here. Here's August. Actually, here's the end of July, beginning of August. You have 2 games in Toronto. Well, Toronto's in the wild card. Basically, the next 5 games against teams that are fighting for the either could put them away that are they got 3 games with Atlanta, and then the next 2 with Toronto. So if they lose the next 2 to Toronto, which they lost tonight 4-1 to Toronto, so that number could be definitely growing. And
I hate
that
to
could
say
bite
I'm
'em in the
rooting
rear.
for a team to fail, but I'm rooting for a team to fail.
Yeah.
Because you want to see a player like that on a team that's going to compete consistently, and the Angels have not competed consistently in a long time. Dave, what are your thoughts?
No, yeah, which one? No, I agree with that. He's on a team that's, he's not happy. It's clear. I think that he's feeling like he needs to make a move, but, them retaining him, it shows that they want to keep, at least some part of an investment,
Some part is correct.
Well, you know what I mean. If he's not going to play, and I think, you're going to see a diminish in his want to be there. So I mean, it could change quickly, I guess. I mean, it could be something that's going to change for them. And his thoughts, I don't know. If they start having a better season, or they start picking up some other players, maybe it might change his mind. I mean, look at the Phils as an example. I mean, that kind of changed a lot of aspects for a lot of people, picking up Trey Turner and a few other players.
The Phils have I mean, they've been making moves in seasons where they weren't even competing. They've been doing a lot just to try and get to where they got last year. I'm kind of curious what they do coming up. Because I've heard some rumors floating out there that Bohm is kind of a carrot they're dangling out there to get something. Yeah. I don't want to see Bohm go.
No, he's a key player, but I mean, there was rumor for a while that they were going to try to pick up, some more pitchers for the staff, or better pitchers for the staff. I don't know.
I the rumor I heard yesterday was they were scouting Eduardo Rodriguez from the Tigers, and he's someone that Dave Dombrowski's very familiar with due to his time with the Tigers. So this doesn't surprise me because they've kind of gone for a few Dave Dombrowski guys, Castellanos being one of them. They definitely need someone with who bats right-handed to play in the outfield.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's key. You and I were talking earlier about some of the shortcomings of the Phils and some places they need to pick up, and that's one of them. You're absolutely right.
I mean, let's get Schwarber out of the field. Let's just keep him as a DH because he's a bit of a liability out there. It's like putting me in left field. And they need someone who's consistent. That's an
unpopular decision in your household, though.
What?
So that's an unpopular decision in your household, though.
Well, only for one of us.
Well, Harper playing first isn't too bad.
No.
I'm pleasantly surprised by Harper at first.
Yes, I am as well.
He's been doing extremely well.
Well, since we're on the topic, what does that mean for Rhys Hoskins?
Could he be on the block?
I hope not. But yes, possibly, I feel.
Well, what do you do with him if they don't trade him? Which I don't believe they will. I've never heard his name come up with any trades yet so far.
Yeah, but the problem is, though, yourself, when you may not ever hear the name be put up on the rumors, but the next thing you know, he's gone on deadline day.
Well, here's the thing. It'd be stupid to trade him because this is his free agent season. So you're not going to – who's going to want him to just sit there and recover, and you may not be able to sign him going into next year. I think this season hurts him in his free agency. I think the Phils could probably get him back, but what do you do with him if Harper's excelling at first base? Where is the role for Rhys Hoskins? Because he was not a good left fielder.
No.
They tried that experiment in 2018.
And as far as being a utility player, it didn't really work out. I mean, as you said, outfield didn't work out. You've got a solid infield with Harper at first. There isn't really a good place to go, especially if you bump Schwarber into DH.
And the problem is that you're losing a guy who matters in the clubhouse, which is just as important as on field.
Right.
Who knows? I mean, you know how many times that we've heard big names be traded right at the deadline that were unexpected.
But you know what, the Phils. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying that even just Philadelphia in general, whether it be the Phillies, the Flyers, just any, always at the trade deadline, always looking to go for that title, whether it be, well, like you said, no matter what, whether they're not even contender, they're still making big moves because of the rebuilding process.
I think the best move they made last season at the trade deadline was Marsh. And he wasn't a big name. They were just taking a risk on a young guy who wasn't, hoping that greener pastures would be the best thing for him, and it was.
Well, look how many players come up from Reading and make their names. Look at last year.
Rojas right now.
Rojas is a big one.
Exactly. Well, again, how many players came up from Reading?
Oh, you just mean in general, like Bohm and Reese, and
just
Stott
in general
to
make their names. I mean, any one of those guys could come up and put one person down. Who knows what could happen? Whether that will, who knows?
I expect Reese coming back. I expect him in the minors for a while for rehabilitation. I don't think he's coming. I mean, I don't think he's going to do his 2 months and come back up. I expect a 6-month minimum of him being in the minors before they decide what they're even going to do.
Who knows?
You know what? I kind of hope they can trade Scott Kingery in his contract.
What's his contract? I forget.
It was a $26 million contract for a guy who's been pretty much in the minors.
Yes.
So basically, get a
classic Matt Klentak.
Use get a bag of used baseballs or something.
And a case of beer for that.
And a case of beer. Oh.
Well, the beer will go directly to John Kruk, care of NBC Sports Philadelphia.
I still say he's one of the best commentators I've heard in a long time.
So he stated that next season he will be on more road games. Now, I know he was helping with his daughter's softball team. Now, I wonder if this is her last year, and that's why he's able to do more next season.
All I know is he cracks me up when he commentates. He cracks me up.
He's a good commentator. I will say that. The Cruxer there, he definitely he definitely is good.
Well, he doesn't beat around the bush.
Nope, he's straight up.
Exactly. That's what makes him the best.
Well, it's a different perspective, right? So he used to play baseball. So it's a different perspective because he kind of reads the minds of what's going on in the field. He can honestly tell you, what they're thinking. He asks some really good questions when they have him mic'd up, and I think he's good at it.
Yeah, I like when he gets into the principles of batting and what goes through the minds and the little things they try to do at every at bat. It's the same reason why I enjoyed Smoltz during the playoffs last year. He was giving you the perspective of the pitcher, which is unique. You don't get that a lot of times because a lot of former players who are doing commentary tend to be an infielder, an outfielder, or a catcher. It's never someone who's a pitcher. So it's a unique perspective, and I can appreciate that.
Yeah, it gives the dynamics of the pitch. It's something that you don't get from, as you said, the infielder, the outfielder, or the catcher. And the catcher may have a little bit more input because they're, catching the pitches and understanding what they're trying to do there. But as far as that's concerned, yeah, it's a unique vision from the pitching side of the things as a commentator.
And speaking of pitchers, let's jump back here quick to the trade deadline before we wrap up this first half. I heard rumors the Mets are going to put Scherzer and Verlander on the trade block.
Interesting.
Do you think any teams take the risk on Scherzer, knowing that he's pretty much been a shell of himself this season?
Yes.
Somebody's going to take him.
100%.
I think that's high risk, high reward.
Yeah, but that's the thing though. You got to take that risk to get that reward though. And if that plays out, then fantastic. If it doesn't, well, then we all know they become the laughing stock, I guess, of that part.
And real quick, how funny would it be if the Astros get Verlander back at the trade deadline?
I mean, I could honestly see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And really, this fire sale that the Mets are supposed to have is going to be, and I'm sorry, Mets fans, it's hilarious. It's classic Mets.
It is classic Mets.
They signed all this talent, spent all this money, and it's blown up on their faces.
Well, to me, it's typical New York, whether it be, we'll go back, the baseball. Look at hockey, how many New York, with the Rangers, how much money they spent and couldn't even get past either the first round or make the playoffs.
Yeah, but there are some New York teams that actually do win championships.
Yeah, look at the Yankees as an example. I mean, they know what they have. They know what they need.
Okay,
and the Giants have won some
out of
Super Bowls
4,
in the last 20 years.
Out of 5, two teams in the major sports.
The Mets have
titles.
just a history of bad luck. I mean, that's why it's called Metting the bed.
That is true.
I'm good on this topic. If you guys want to continue, that's fine. I'm okay here.
Nah, I'm good. You good, Dave?
I'm good.
All right, and that'd be the end of the first half. We'll be right back.